Hello, Alternative Healthcare Career Group. Again, this is Dr. Mike Chua, your host for tonight. I am your alternative career coach. I think my hair is not fixed yet. I already took a bath, put on a little bit of gel, and then now I'm back. We're live here in our Alternative Career Group. If you are watching live, oh gosh, I forgot. I got to talk to my hairdresser to fix my hair before I go live, right? So if you're watching live, please comment live. You know how to spell it, ladies and gentlemen. L-I-V, how do you spell E? Or E. L-I-V-E, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching live, please comment live. We want to know if you're watching live because we want to see if you're watching, if it's helping you, right? And if you're watching, obviously, in the replay, you know how to spell it. R-E, playa, ladies and gentlemen. But tonight, we've got a special guest. But before I keep on going, I just would like to give a special shout out to MedBridge Education. MedBridgeEducation.com. Use the code alternative to get 40% discount. 40% discount, ladies and gentlemen. That's a lot. 40%. That's less than 10% or 50%, right? So check that out. MedBridgeEducation.com. Use the code alternative. In that way, we can get some discount, right? We want discount. You know, nowadays, we want some discount. So if you want discount, type in discount because we are going to give you more discount in this group. We're going to give you a lot of value. Discount, not discount. We're going to give you a lot of value, ladies and gentlemen. And then, of course, I'm just going to keep on scrolling that there. Of course, I also want to remind you the Alzheimer's Disease and Dementia Care Seminar. That's the required course to be a certified dementia practitioner. It's a CEU course, actually, and it's approved nationally for nurses and then for PT and PTAs in Tennessee and Chicago. And if you're an OT, a lot of people are going to ask, hey, how about OTs? How about SLPs? Yes, you can submit it and then have it approved on your own individual state. You just have to submit the certificate of completion, and then you just have to pay your own fees for it. So, all right. So, but without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to introduce our guest for tonight. I'm gonna have to read this. You know, our special guest for tonight is Captain David Bayliff, who has been practicing physical therapy for 26 years, originally from North Carolina, from the East, right? And moved to Phoenix, Arizona. Spell that, ladies and gentlemen, Phoenix. Phoenix is such a nice place, right? So after graduating from Shenandoah University in 1994, oh gosh, 1994, who here has been born 1994? I was still in high school that time, right? Shout out to those people who are in 1994. He spent the first 19 years of his career working in different outpatient clinics and then in 2013, that was like how many years ago? 7 years ago. He started his own mobile concierge practice called Bayliff Integrated Wellness. So he then began coaching other therapists, I think last year. So in this year, January 2020, he combined coaching forces with another awesome guy, another good-looking guy. His name is Josh Payne, to form what you call the Mobile Concierge Coaching Academy. And now they're going to call it, UNCAGED CLINICIAN Academy, whatever. And they're just going to be awesome. They're just going to be great. So their goal is to actually help clinicians to start and grow their own mobile or brick-and-mortar practice. And that's the goal here, to find your alternative career, to find your cash-based practice or whatever. So currently, they have this, podcast and everything like that. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome our special guest for tonight, Captain David Bayliff. Captain, what's going on, sir?
How are we doing, Master Jedi? Mike,
well, it's my pleasure. And without people, if you don't know Captain David Bayliff, you gotta follow him. He is actually my coach, literally. I would call him on the days that I needed coaching, that I needed guidance, and just what you call this a disclaimer. Just a disclaimer. He's actually my coach. That's the reason why he's here. So without further ado, Captain D, welcome, sir. Welcome. Please tell us where you at. What do you do, literally, for those people who don't know you yet? And then somebody wanted to give you, hey, somebody's saying here, Welcome, Captain Bayliff. Gonna get a shout out. Give a shout out to this.
Let's give a shout out to. Oh yes,
There you go. There you go.
That's what I'm smoking.
She said she follows you on Twitter.
Oh well.
Do you have Twitter?
Could be one of 4 people that follow me on Twitter.
Me too. I don't know. I don't even know how to access my Twitter. All right. Well, Captain D, welcome. Will, you see Mr. Will Boyd watching. What's going on, Mr. Will? Thank you very much for coming over. But Captain D, I'm going to stop talking. I'll let you take over, sir.
Hey, Brother Mike Jewett, thank you so much for having me on just your most fantastic show. I tell you what, I was backstage. I was looking at the pre-show, credits or whatever, the lead-ins, whatever the heck you call them in showbiz. And I tell you what, this cat right here, he's got a top-notch show. This is impressive. And he's got this little thing scrolling across the bottom about the MedBridge education, using a code and all that. Like, this boy is top-notch. I tell you, he knows how to kick it up a notch. But yeah, David Bayliff, I'm out here where it's nice and cool in Phoenix, Arizona, where we just recently had 50 straight days of over 110 degrees. It's been pleasant, people. It's been nice, I tell you what. But yeah, here in Phoenix, Arizona, been here 24 years, as Mike Chua said. He was like barely in high school then. So I'm an old dude, but anyway, it's all good. It's fun, and I'm excited to be here tonight, Mike.
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, thank you very much, Captain. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, like what I say, if you don't know Captain D, you got to follow him. And his time is just so precious. So it is actually it's my pleasure and privilege for just to hang out with him for at least for like an hour, 30, 40 minutes today. So if you have any questions, ladies and gentlemen, with regards to starting your own private practice, starting your own cash-based practice, this is the guy that you need to connect to. He's got this awesome coaching program. But before I dive deep into that, Captain D, why transition to cash-based? Why Mobile Concierge? Is there any reason why you wanted to do that?
Yeah, great question. And I think it goes back to a number of things there, Mike. It goes back to when I was a little younger, but had been in the game for quite a while. And what led me to it was one day I'm in the clinic. I got my hands on somebody. I'm working on them, and I'm looking out, and I've got there like 4 people out on the dance floor waiting, ready, about ready for me to get my hands on them. And I've got a guy in the waiting room who is a fresh rotator cuff repair, so he's going to be passive range of motion only. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, how am I going to navigate this? I've got this guy coming up that is passive range of motion only, so I can't have a tech work with him. And passive range of motion only, I can't have him be here for only 10 minutes and then send him out the door. But I got these 4 other people who are about ready for me to get my hands on them. How am I going to problem solve here? And then next thing I know, I got this little tap on my shoulder, and it's the front office gal. And she's like, your new eval is ready. I'm like, oh, wait, what? New eval? What are you talking about? She's like, oh yeah, we put a new eval in your schedule. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, okay, I got just what kind of a show going on right now. And I'm thinking about all the notes that I got to write at the end of the day, plus the notes that I'm behind on, because I was spending basically 14 hours a day in the clinic. And I got to thinking, like, I got to do something different. But what's it going to be? But to answer your question, all of those factors involved got me to thinking of, one of my big stressors is the insurance, because of all the amounts of paperwork having to deal with and having to fight with insurance to get extra visits or whatever it may be. So that was one of the things that I wanted to escape from. But honestly, when I was getting into thinking about my mobile, well, actually not even starting my mobile practice, when I was thinking about what's going to be my next move, I knew one person in town that was cash based, and I always thought, like, how is this dude doing it? Like, people are actually paying cash. Like, I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know how he's surviving. But I was thinking, like, okay, I don't want to start a clinic. I don't want to have to deal with insurance. What could I do next? And then I got introduced to a client who wanted services to come to him to his home, and he was willing to pay cash. And that's when I realized that there are people out there who are willing to pay cash, particularly, well, whether they come to you or you go to them, but there are people out there willing to pay cash. And that's when I said, hey, I just figured out what I need to do. And the reason that I don't take insurance is, again, looking back over 19 years of the mounds of paperwork and the late hours in the clinic. And I just, you know what? I needed a life change, and I needed to get away from it. Now, could I take insurance now? Absolutely. If I took insurance now, would I be more busy? Maybe be able to scale up more? Probably so. Absolutely. But I made the choice that for me, my sanity, cash was the way to go, to just eliminate a lot of that stress. And I don't poo-poo anybody that takes insurance or who wants to take insurance. Fantastic. I love it. Just for me, it just wasn't for me. And so that's how I came to the decision to be cash-based, Mike.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. That's a great testimony there. And like what I said, ladies and gentlemen, I also have a cash-based practice, like what David said. You know, I also take insurance. And I've learned so much from this guy that one time I called him. I said, I was taking insurance that time. And I called him one time. And then I said, now I know why you're doing cash-based. Mm-hmm. It's not actually for the patient. It's actually for you. And he said, yeah, Michael. Well, I was doing this. So we're on the phone. You know, we had that StarTAC or the antenna phone is. But, you know, I was calling him. So now I know the feeling that you're doing. And he's like, yeah, Michael, that's right. But before I keep on going, I just would like to give a special shout out to, again, Mr. Will. Always love learning from you guys. Thank you, sir. I mean, it's us who needs to learn from you. You know, from you and Alex, actually, right? That's actually right. You know? And then OS said, what time is it where you are, Captain D?
It is presently 6:42 p.m. Arizona's weird because we don't change our clocks. So half of the year we're on Mountain Standard Time and half the year we're on Pacific Standard Time. So we're actually on Pacific Time right now. So it's 6:43 p.m. on a Thursday afternoon. So I get kind of confused because actually, believe it or not, Mike, after this show, a little bit later on, I've got an accountability call with two dudes over in Australia where it's going to be like, I don't know, it's sometime on Friday, their time. So I get all confused. I get all confused with what
Me too. You know, I used to live in Crossville, Tennessee, and I worked at Knoxville. Crossville is Central Time. You pass one city, you're in Eastern Time. So when I go there, I lose time, and then come back, I gain time. So yep. There's this question always comes up, Captain D. Mm-hmm. Would you like to answer this real quick, sir?
Yeah. How do you determine how much you charge per client? That is a great question there. Oh yes. First of all, you got to recognize your value, number one, and I'm going to kind of reverse engineer it a little bit. You got to recognize your value. And a lot of people, I tell you, Mike, you know, a lot of people, they are afraid of money because in school, the establishment, they don't talk about money. They tell you that when you get out, you're going to be set for life because you're going to be a DPT and you're going to make plenty of money. But they don't really talk about making money, charging people for money. So we feel like that money is evil. But I'll tell you what, your bank account, your business will grade you on how well you are serving people. And just look at money as a product of serving people. So I want to just start with that. That making money is just a byproduct of you actually serving people, which is, guess what? Why we got into physical therapy or whatever occupational therapy, whatever profession you're in, you got into it because guess what? You probably told the the admin team that, well, I want to do this because I want to help people. If you're helping people, guess what? You're going to make money. All right. Now, how do you determine your charge? That's a great question. One way is honestly to kind of have a pulse of what are people charging in town, in your community. And what I mean by that is if there are other therapists who are cash-based, whether they're brick and mortar or mobile, doesn't matter, but have an idea of what they're charging. Because number one, you don't want to be charging the highest and you don't want to be charging the lowest. Okay. The worst thing in business is to be called the best kept secret. Okay. If you're the best kept secret, that means nobody knows about you. All right. And if you're the cheapest, You're the lowest price. Guess what? You're commoditizing yourself, and people are going to see you as a commodity. And we're not a commodity, all right? We help people through transformations. Who else do you need to be aware of? Like, what are the athletic trainers or personal trainers? What are they charging? What are massage therapists charging? All right, because your schooling is, I'm going to guess. I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb here, Mike. I'm thinking our schooling is probably a lot more than a massage therapist or a personal trainer. I'm guessing. All right, since most of you have doctorates of physical therapy. All right, so if there's a personal trainer out there that's getting $100 a session, $125 a session, and you're charging $60 a session, I mean, come on, we got to know, what's going on out there. That's one thing to take into consideration. Another thing to take into consideration is, how much money do you want to make per month or per year? All right, let's say per month, and then let's think about, okay, how many visits do you want to see a week? And then, okay, so if I want to make, let's say, I did the math today. Let's say, for example, that you want to make $6,000 a month, $6,000 a month. And let's say that you want to see 15 visits a week. Well, that means that you've got to charge $100 a visit to end up making $6,000 a month. So you can break it down with how much money do you want to make ultimately, how many visits a week do you want to see, and reverse engineer it. All right. Now, if you want to see only 12 visits a week, well, now you better be charging on average $125 a visit in order to make $6,000 a month. All right. So those are some ways to look at it, break it down of how to determine what your price is. But a lot of people are very afraid, Mike, that people won't pay for therapy. But let me tell you, I have found out that people will pay for therapy. Okay, I grew a 6-figure practice. Okay, in case you don't know, 6 figures, that's over $100,000. I'm willing to bet most therapists out there who are, particularly if they're staff therapists, they ain't making 6 figures. All right, I made 6 figures in my practice, not taking $1 from insurance. And guess what, Mike? Man, I mean, I might see my first client at 8 o'clock in the morning on one day a week. I'm always done by 5:30. I work less and I make more. People will pay. People will pay. And if I could kind of go in a little bit deeper, and this might answer some other questions maybe in the future, is that the trick is this, people, is recognize what your gift is to give to people. What is your gift? What is it that you do for people? Don't try to sell physical therapy. Because I tell you what, Mike, for the people who say, well, people won't pay cash for physical therapy, I say you're absolutely correct. They won't pay for physical therapy. Why do they pay for personal trainer? Why do they pay for a massage therapist? Why do they pay $250 to get their hair done? Because those people help you, me, whoever, those people help the client to go through a transformation to become a better version of who they presently are. And people are willing to pay for a transformation like that. And then what do therapists do? We come in and go, well, we're standing there. We've got on our khakis, our polo shirt, and our running shoes, and we're eating out of our Tupperware. And we say, well, you need physical therapy. We can do dry needling, and you're going to be better. I'm going to do blood flow restriction, and and I can get you better. And I ain't busting on those techniques. All right, I'm not busting on the techniques. But the point being is that people won't pay for the tools or the toolbox. Physical therapy is a toolbox. And all those things I mentioned, dry needling, blood flow restriction, McKenzie, myofascial release, other kind of manual techniques, those are tools in the toolbox. And people don't want to pay for tools. All right? They want to pay for the transformation. So you have to be able to sell what you're giving based on, the gift and the transformation you can take people through.
Oh, wow. That is so powerful. That is so powerful. Thank you very much, Captain D. Again, if you're still watching live, please comment live. If you're watching on the replay, please comment replay, ladies and gentlemen. And take advantage of this, ladies and gentlemen. This is technically a free coaching call. I don't know how much Captain D charges for a 1-hour coaching call, but this is literally a coaching call, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm writing things down. If you're not writing things down, you're losing a lot. But of course, you can watch this on a replay. I just would like to reiterate what he has been talking about. He's actually saying when you're wanting to charge, not compare. Look at what the other people are charging.
Mhm.
I asked him that same question to you, OS. I asked David, hey, Captain D, how much should I charge? And he said, look around, personal trainers here in this small little town in Martin, Tennessee. I'm his wife. I work for his wife, she's an administrator, and they own a gym here in the local. He charges 45 minutes per 30 minutes. His name is Richie. You can even go to his gym and go to him. He charges $45 for 30 minutes. For an hour times 2, how much is that? $90. He's a personal trainer, ladies and gentlemen. My massage therapist that comes into our house, I pay her $100 to massage me for an hour. I'm not like what Captain D said. We're not downgrading personal trainers. They're awesome. Massage therapists, I love their services. They are actually very helpful to me, loosen up my knots and everything like that. But do you think we are in the same, we are differently on the same category? We're not comparing, but what I'm saying is that we know more than a personal trainer. You're a PT or a PTA or a CODA, OTA. Obviously, charge what you're worth. So if you want to earn like $6,000, $10,000 a month, working X amount of hours, seeing X amount of patients, you just work around backwards, and then boom, that will be your hourly rate. I charge $150 because that's what I'm comfortable, because that's what I get paid from Medicare. So when they discharge, at least it's from a cash point, a wellness service. That's what I'm comfortable. I'm sure other therapists, I'm sure Captain D knows some other of his coaching clients. They probably charge like $250, $350. I don't know, whatever. But it all depends on your comfort level too. There's a great question here, a follow-up question by OS. Do you want to answer this, Captain D?
Or you can get in trouble with license for doing therapy on friends, family members. So why is it okay to take cash? That's a great question. And in some states, for whatever reason, states have a regulation that you can't treat family members and friends. And that's certainly true, like in the clinic. But so one, I'm not telling you to don't comply with your state regulations, all right? Because there are several states out there that you can't treat family. But that's also, I think that, you can't treat family if you're charging insurance, all right? Just like, for example, supposedly, like, I guess a physician can't write a prescription for medication to himself, all right? I think that the purpose behind that rule is so that there isn't abuse or the potential for abuse. All right. But if you're cash, we're not dealing with insurance. If you're cash, that person is saying, hey, you know what? Can you help me out here? And the last time that I checked, Mike, in fact, I just looked it up like earlier today because I was answering a Medicare question. And it says right there, I think like number 2 in the patient bill of rights is that the patient has the right to be the decision maker in their plan of care. So, you know what? Your cousin, your mom, your sister, or whoever, like, oh man, I got a tweak in my back. Take care of the person. That's my opinion. Take care of the person. But I want you to operate in the zone where you're comfortable. That's what's most important.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for answering that, Captain D. And of course, going back to that question from OAS, I heard that you can get in trouble. Obviously, if you're doing something wrong, you're going to get in trouble. If you know you're helping bring out the best in that person, really taking care of them. Have you found somebody that you really hurt in therapy? Actually, no, you're actually helping them. Surgery, yeah, right. Therapy, the worst it could happen, they had a muscle cramp or whatever. Operate within your license. And then worst case scenario, don't promote yourself as a therapist. Promote yourself as a personal trainer. Most of the cash-based people are doing that anyway. So this is the next great follow-up question by OS again. How can I find cash-based clinic near May, and how maybe near her or near me? How does your documentation work, Captain D?
Yep, absolutely. As far as cash-based, that's good. I suppose you could always a couple of ways. You could always Google cash-based therapy clinics, number one. Number two is that, there are, if you are part of any physical therapy related groups outside of this group, or even within this group, you could always post a question. Hey, anyone know of a cash-based therapist in your town? All right. You could always ask that question. I see that all the time. I see that a lot of times in this group. I see it in other PT groups. I see it in my group. Like, hey, look at, in fact, a buddy of mine just posted in my group literally like 45 minutes ago. He's in one town. He was looking for a therapist in another town for a family member or friend or something who was in another town. So you can always post and ask that question. Documentation. Mike, again, as you very poignantly pointed out, that I'm kind of old. All right. So when I started practicing,
come on now, it's just kidding.
I know. When I started practicing, okay, everything was right here. Okay, we had paper charts. Nowadays, particularly everyone who's a doctor, most everyone who's a doctor of physical therapy, they've grown up in a technological world. Everything is electronic. So we think that, well, I have to do my documentation electronically, all right, because we're kind of led to believe that simply because it's how it's done everywhere now. However, it is not illegal at all to use these two things right here. You can actually use these two things right here to document, and you're not going to be out of compliance, and particularly if you are storing the information properly, all right? You're not going to be out of compliance, especially if you're cash-based. If you're cash-based, then 100% legal to use pen and paper. But even if you take insurance, in fact, if I might mention his name, Rob Vining. Rob Vining, a lot of people know him with telehealth. He's kind of like the man of telehealth. Him and Mark Milligan, they're pretty much people of telehealth. Of course, you throw in, Joanne Martin in there. She's pretty good too. But
oh yeah,
Rob Vining, man of telehealth, doing everything electronically, working with Medicare and all that stuff. And he will tell you, this is how he does his documentation right here. And then he keeps it in a fireproof safe in his house.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, even Anthony Maritato, the Medicare guy, he's still advocating pen and paper. If you're starting out, use pen and paper. Fortunately for me, I'm using fortunately, right? I'm using an EMR for myself because I really like to type. I like typing. I don't want my hands to be affected when I'm writing stuff down. First of all, my handwriting sucks. So I'm typing. Well, anyway, Captain D, for those people who are watching live, please comment live. If you're watching on the replay, please comment replay, ladies and gentlemen. And like what I said, if you have any questions with regards to how to start your own mobile cash-based practice, cash PT, concierge practice, or whatever you call that, type it in the question box or in the chat box, wherever you are, whether in your Facebook page, in the group or YouTube channel. We can see it here in our side here. But before I keep on going, we're just going to go on a quick break real quick, and we'll be back and ask more questions to Captain D.
HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution with integrated EMR that will enhance workflow, efficiency, and patient care. HelloNote reduces error and allows you to spend more time with your patients. It comes integrated with billing. Claims are generated once a note is completed. You can bill with one click and a patient portal, which streamlines the patient intake process. Beautifully engineered and cloud-based for easy accessibility, the software works on all platforms. You can access patient records from anywhere. We also offer 24/7 support. HelloNote is the practice management solution that you're looking for.
I
I learned so much today from Dr. Mike Chua's Certified Dementia Practitioner live seminar. Not only was it about facts on how to help as a therapist treat those with dementia or memory deficits, but it was also about how to talk to family members, how to talk to caregivers, how to interact with the nursing staff in the hospital, and really how to present myself as a certified dementia practitioner. If you're looking to broaden your skill set with becoming a certified dementia practitioner, I highly recommend Dr. Mike Chua's seminar.
My testimonial for Dr. Mike Chua. About 2 weeks ago, I was in Tennessee from my rotation to home health, and I was lucky enough to have Dr. Mike Chua as my mentor. And in that 2 weeks, he mentored me and he encouraged me to do what I love what I do, work with patients and all that. And he also taught me how to write a book and encouraged me to write a book, so I published it.
Hello, my name is Nina Chokashvili. I am support group facilitator leader and yes, a specialist and Alzheimer educator. So I just completed Dr. Mike Chua's 2-day class, which one was the best class. First.
All right, we are back from that quick commercial break. Again, thank you very much, Hello Note, for that quick reminder that we need to use Hello Note. And of course, before I forget, check out rehabpreneur.com. That's Bert's website, Engelbert De Vera's website, rehabpreneur.com, for those people who wants to start their own home health contracting business. You got to check that out, rehabpreneur.com. / Mike Chua, because he's actually good. And of course, I also showed you the Alzheimer's disease and dementia care seminar. We do that every month, and just sign up. If you need the discount code, just let me know. We do that every month. Alzheimer's disease and dementia care seminar. It's a CEU course, and it's actually the course to be a certified dementia practitioner. And you also saw Captain D's video there. Reach out to him. I'm going to bring Captain D back again here. Captain D, are you here? There you are, sir.
Sure.
I got a question before we keep on going. Is it easy to start your own private cash-based concierge practice? Do I need special skills? Do I need to be a DPT? Do I need to be a regular PT? If I'm an OT or a speech, can I do this?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you know what? Is it easy? Yes, it is. And no, it isn't. Can you be a PT, a regular PT, not a DPT? Absolutely. Can you be an OT? Absolutely. Can you be a speech therapist? Absolutely. Can you be a massage therapist, a personal trainer? Absolutely. You can be anything. I mean, you can be maybe you do car detailing or window washing or something. You can do anything and be mobile and be cashed. But yes, absolutely. You don't have to have any special certifications or be at a certain level of a therapist in order to be a mobile therapist.
Oh, wow. Okay. You heard it now, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to have any special certification in order for you to be a mobile therapist. All you need to do is to believe in yourself first. It's all in here. It's your mindset. Actually, Captain David's book is about mindset, ladies and gentlemen. Could you tell us about your book, Captain D? Oh, there you go.
Well, it's right there too. Look at that. But there it is.
I see that.
Winning mindset for the mobile entrepreneur. And in that, I mean, I tell you, Mike, one of the biggest hurdles for anybody to get started, it's called The Winning Mindset for the Mobile Entrepreneur. Really, anybody could read this. The dude that cuts my hair read the book, and he's like, dude, this book is for anybody. But it's subtitled Success Starts Between the Ears, because it truly does, people. Success starts between the ears. The decision to take action, to do something different than what you're currently doing, well, that requires a thought. And you've got to act on that thought. And where do thoughts come from? They come from right here. So success starts between the ears. The biggest thing that holds anybody back, the number one thing, is all just limiting beliefs, fear, lack of confidence. So through the book, I try to help people to overcome some of those disbeliefs or whatever, limiting beliefs to move forward. But there's just so much that we could, if we could just get out of our own way, man, we would go so much farther.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. You know what? I get a lot of books, ladies and gentlemen. If you are, again, if you are still watching live, please comment live. If you're watching on the replay, please comment replay. I get a lot of books from my students, from the people I coach, from the people I actually have my actual coach. But it's very rare that I actually read a book that you want to keep going. One of the book that I just, I kept on reading is Harry Potter, that you cannot put it down, right? You're reading that book and you're like, oh gosh, I want to know what's the next chapter. The other book that I'm reading right now is what you call How to Stop Worrying. How to Stop Worrying by Dale Carnegie. The third book that I just can't put down, Winning Mindset from Captain D. Captain D. You got to read that book, ladies and gentlemen. Winning Mindset. There you go. Winning Mindset for Mobile Entrepreneur. Because why? First of all, I'm learning so much. It's just like, oh gosh, this is what I needed to do. And like what Captain David said, we are the limiting beliefs. It's not in your environment. It's not the payer source. It's not the patient. It's not your coworker. It's not your boss. It's not Facebook. It's not your marketing. It's right in between our ears. Thank you for pointing that out again, Captain D. I know.
Can I add to what you just said about limiting beliefs? Okay, so Mike said earlier, you got to believe. You got to believe. And I tell you what, the 4 key elements to being successful is, number one, you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. You got to have passion for what you do. You got to have grit. And I tell you what, more than likely, if you are a licensed therapist, then you've got grit because you made it into school, you made it through school, and you passed board. So you got grit. And then you just got to be persistent. You got to keep going. Just keep going. But let me say one thing quickly about belief. When I started my practice, again, there was one guy in town that was cash only. And the prevailing thought is that, no, nobody's going to pay. Everybody wants to use their insurance. And when I was starting out, I had so many people, family members, colleagues, people I'd talked to on the streets. Better take insurance. You better take insurance. Better take insurance. Like I said, I haven't taken not one dime of insurance money, and I grew a 6-figure practice. Why? Because 2 things. Number one is I believed that people would pay, and 2, also kind of had some intel, had been introduced to people that showed me like, yeah, you know what? If I talk about this correctly, people will pay. So, that goes right into believing. If you believe it, you're going to go much farther believing in the outcome that you want than to expect the outcome that you want to avoid. So anyway, I just want to throw that out there, Mike.
Oh, wow. That is very powerful, ladies and gentlemen. I like the 4 things that Captain D said: believe in yourself, or passion, grit, and persistence. Do you think, ladies and gentlemen, English is not my first language, ladies and gentlemen? I had to learn English. I have to take English exams just to prove to the United States of America that I know how to speak English. And guess what? I failed several of those exams. First thing that the instructor told me, Michael, you got to believe in yourself that you can at least pretend how to speak English. You got to believe in it. I'm like, do I really know how to speak English? Or do I actually don't know how to speak it? Do you think I can go out on a live video like this or whatever we're doing, podcast, YouTube? Do you think if I didn't believe in myself in the first place, I wouldn't be here, ladies and gentlemen? Next, I like the second thing that he said, passion. What's your passion about? What kind of are you passionate about? In my case, it's Alzheimer's and dementia. People pay me cash online, doing telehealth, online consultation, telehealth in my group, Alzheimer's and dementia support group, because that's my passion. So what are you passionate about? Captain D's passion, taking care of people. I see him always. You see his video, what he does? It's golf. That's his passion, golf and tennis. Golf and tennis. That's his passion there. What are you passionate about? If you want to charge cash and charge premium on your prices, you got to find that passion. From that passion, you'll find your grit, and you just keep going and going and going. Persistency is the key, or repetition, ladies and gentlemen. Repetition is the mother of learning. It is the father of action, and then the architect of results. Do you think I just made that up? No, I memorized that. I repeated that phrase again and again and again in my head, and I'm saying it because I want to be persistent in remembering that phrase itself. Repetition is the mother of learning, is the father of action, and then the architect of results. If you want to start your own business, you got to be persistent, ladies and gentlemen. Captain D, before I keep on going, we've got a question here from Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie. Oh, I love your profile picture there, Stephanie. Be stronger than your strongest excuse.
Ooh, I love that. Nice.
Oh, gosh, that is very powerful.
That.
That's a nice profile picture. Be stronger than your strongest excuse. But let's go back to your question, Stephanie. What are the top 3 lessons learned in starting your own business, and what would you do differently, Captain D?
Man, that's a great question, Stephanie. Thank you so much for dropping that. I appreciate it. What top 3 lessons learned? Number 1 is that, you know what, your greatest asset, the greatest skill that you need to learn. It's not another continuing education course, and I don't, Mike. I don't mean to poo-poo your thing because I know you teach people for dementia stuff.
But come on now, that's my source of living. Just kidding.
Your greatest asset is the ability to communicate. That's your greatest asset, your ability to communicate. You do not underestimate the value of building relationships with people. You've got to build relationships with people, and you've got to believe in yourself. And I tell you, there are two big lessons that I had to learn early on in my business. Is that number 1 is comparison is the thievery of dreams. Comparison is the thievery of dreams. You know, when I first started out, you know, things didn't start gangbusters, but I saw a couple other people that were doing very well. And, you know, like even my friend that had the cash-based clinic, you know, I started looking at like, okay, this guy, he's offering this program. Ooh, maybe I should do that. This guy's offering this program. Ooh, maybe I should do that. Ooh, this guy is working with these kind of people. Yeah, maybe I should go for them. I started comparing. And what that caused me to do was to look at everything except what was most important right here. I lost focus. I started looking around, okay, just like, you know, like if I'm a sprinter, okay, if you're sprinting and you're in a race and you start looking around, well, you know, if you know body mechanics, you're going to slow down because you start worrying about what's going on left and right. So I realized that I couldn't compare, and I didn't have to be doing what everybody else was doing. I just needed to do me. I needed to do what resonated with me. And then the other thing that I had to learn was that success comes at a different rate for everybody, and it looks differently for everybody. It comes at a different time, and it looks differently for everybody. If I'm seeing 25 visits a week, and a buddy of mine seeing 40 visits a week, it doesn't mean that I'm not being successful. All right? You have to be able to define your own success and be happy with that. And you know, Mike, I'll tell a quick story to kind of exemplify this, or whatever the word is. I don't know. Sometimes I lose my words. So it's like,
well, don't ask the foreigner, man.
I know it, man. Well, I mean, I'm from the South, so I am a foreigner, you know, because I don't know how to speak. But anyway, look at it this way. Let's say like a marathon, for example, okay, or a half marathon. I used to run half marathons. Let's say a half marathon, okay. At the beginning of the race, guess what? Everybody wants to make it 13.1 miles, okay. Everybody wants to make it 13.1 miles. Some people get there in 2 hours, just under 2 hours. Well, no, under 2 hours. Some people get there in like an hour and a half. All right. Some people, it takes them 3 hours, 3.5 hours. All right. But guess what? They all accomplish the same thing. And the people who get there in an hour and a half and the people who get there in 3 hours, guess what? They all get the same t-shirt. They all get the same finisher medal. They all get the same bagels and chocolate milk and Gatorade, and usually they have a beer garden over there too. So they all get the same rewards. Some people get there faster than others. You just have to stay your course and run your race and keep taking steps forward, and you're going to achieve your goal.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is very powerful, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the same stuff that you're going to get when you're actually being coached by this uncaged clinician. I like the analogy of running, ladies and gentlemen. Even in the Bible itself, it says run your own race.
Run your own
Don't
race.
compare yourself to other people, ladies and gentlemen. I was like that too. I was comparing myself to the other therapist. I was comparing myself. Oh gosh, that friend of mine, he was in the States. You know, I'm going to be honest. I graduated 1999 in PT school. Okay. I had friends who came here right after graduation and they were like winning already. I'm back there in the Philippines struggling. You know, I was struggling. You know, I had a hard time there. I never got here and never practiced physical therapy here in the States until 2011, I think. Imagine that. That's more than 10 years. I practiced self-PT in the Philippines. I was pitying myself and I was comparing myself to my friends. And stop comparing yourself to other ladies and other people. You got your own race. You got your own success. You know, I can't compare myself to Captain D. He's already done that marathon. He's been doing it forever. I cannot. I'm probably just going to walk. You know, I'm probably going to hitch a ride or whatever to with somebody else.
Yeah,
but
I'd be riding with you too these days.
Well, we can get a cane or a walker, right? But the goal here, ladies and gentlemen, is to keep moving forward. It's to keep moving forward. Life, you know, it's just like riding a bicycle, ladies and gentlemen. If you stop, that's when you start falling. But if you keep pedaling and pedaling, just like, you know, what the Captain D is talking about, keep walking. It doesn't have to be fast. You'll eventually reach that goal, and you're going to win this game called life. Yeah. Speaking of life, thank you very much for watching live, Mr. Severo. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
I've had talks with that guy. He's a good guy.
You see? There you go. I need to connect with him.
Yeah.
But before we keep on going, we're going to go on a quick break. Captain D, just hold on. We're going to be back in a few minutes.
All right.
Why did I choose autonomy?
Why my agency is empowered by autonomy.
Why did I join autonomy?
Why I chose to use the autonomy platform.
I chose autonomy because it allows me to have a work-life balance and provide skilled clinical care for my clients.
I chose autonomy because of the amazing support structure that it provides to my consumers and staff.
I feel that autonomy is one of the only platforms that looks at my clients with disabilities as a person, not as a number.
The autonomy platform serves as our back office, therefore allowing us to use our skill set to serve our consumers best, to see the best possible outcomes.
The autonomy talks about different things. They talk about value-based care. They intentionally limit the number of clients we serve so that we can stay focused on the main thing and not get overwhelmed. That we can focus on providing for our people, meeting their needs, helping them to develop a level of independence and satisfaction with their lives. And I can get behind that. That's why I'm here.
All right, we are back. Thank you very much, Autonomy, for that awesome commercial break. Well, if you are wanting to start your own, home health, home care agency, not Part A, but the serving DIDD, intellectual disabled disability people, you got to reach out to Autonomy. Make sure when you sign up, please share or tell them that you found it through our alternative healthcare career group. All right, before we're almost done here, but we're gonna bring back Captain D. We're just gonna ask him some fire questions. Well, fire questions, right? Because sometimes you get fired, right? Sometimes you get fired. Sometimes you get disappointed. Sometimes you get laid off. So those are the fire questions that we're gonna be doing tonight. Captain D, What is your biggest failure and how did you turn it around? I just wanted people to know that nobody's perfect. And here in alternative healthcare career, I'm sure a lot of people here are discouraged, was let go, fired, just like me. Do you have any failures in life and how did you turn it around? Could you please push us to our next level, sir?
Oh man, a lot of failures. First of all, I just realized that there was one thing that I didn't answer Stephanie, but this kind of goes along with a failure, if you will, is what would I do differently in starting out? Stephanie, I apologize, I forgot about answering that part of your question earlier. What would I do differently starting out? Is, again, if back in the day, I never thought that I would one day actually be an entrepreneur. So what I hated doing was marketing. I hated marketing, and so I didn't do it. And so starting out, I didn't have the relationships with physicians and other people that I should have had in order to gain success more quickly. So a tip for you is you're starting out. If you're thinking about starting out, start building relationships today. Failure, golly, what would be my biggest failure? I don't know. I think don't chase shiny objects. Look at things very scrutinally. I kind of got roped into paying $3,000 for marketing, where I was told I was going to be the exclusive physical therapist for the local TV channel. Meanwhile, it wasn't for that. It was an agency that sold ads for the website of a TV channel, and I was not the exclusive physical therapist. I happened to be a physical therapist in a small section on the website that you had to really dig deep to get to it, and my ad popped up only if my ad happened to be showing at the time that the person went to that particular small spot of the website. So that was a very expensive mistake. So I'd say, that, and the fact that prior to starting, that I didn't build the relationships that I needed in order to have success. Because, having success, it's all about, having conversations and having relationships, being able to communicate. And so even though a lot of docs knew me, I didn't build those solid relationships. So, if I had to say failures, big failures, that's it. But they weren't really failures. They're lessons. They're lessons that you learn from. And I tell you, anytime that I've had a setback, buddy, I come out. I mean, Mike knows me. He knows that I'm a pretty calm guy and whatnot. But I tell you what, when I'm back's against the wall, I come out swinging. All right, which a lot of people are afraid to make the jump because they're afraid of like, oh, my back's going to be against the wall. Let me tell you something, people. When your back is against the wall and you're in a corner, you are going to come out swinging. That's a great time for you to start because you're almost guaranteed to lead to success. But Mike, I can't say I've had any big failures. Just a few good, solid lessons that showed me what I need to do to keep moving forward.
Oh wow! You see that, ladies and gentlemen? We do a lot of interviews. I do a lot of questions and answers. When I ask that question, it's the same answer. Mm-hmm. They have a hard time looking for their failures. Why? Because they don't focus on their failures. They focus on the solution to it. The people who are actually winning, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to highlight myself for a minute. The people who are actually winning, they're not focusing on the problem. They're focusing on the solution. I asked Captain D, you know what he said? I have a hard time looking for my failure, Michael. Not because they're bragging, not because he's bragging about it. He's actually looking on that solution on why he had that problem in the first place. And those failures, those setbacks that you're having right now, those setbacks are actually a set up for a next success in life. Those stumbling blocks along the way, courtesy of ponds, the stumbling blocks along the way, poop, you drop, you fail. Actually, a stepping stone for a next success. The failure actually is just a test. Those tests can be a testimony in the future, ladies and gentlemen. Captain D, any last parting wisdom for us before before we close? What website is this? Our website that we can reach you?
Yeah, that's for the Business Coaching Academy. Yep. Or if you want to reach me directly, just message me on Facebook. Totally fine. Message me on Facebook, and I'll get back to you. I love answering people's questions. So, and if we need to, if it's a question that is more than me, being able to just type out something or leaving a voice message, then I'll gladly share my Calendly link, and people can schedule a call, a 30-minute call with me if they want. So,
all right. Well, again, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please check out Captain D's website, PT Business Academy, and also check out his group. His group is the Mobile PT League, and I have learned so much in that group, ladies and gentlemen. It's just growing like crazy, and there's so much value in there. You got to check out also their website, their podcast. Captain D, what's your podcast again?
The Uncaged Clinician Podcast.
Oh, yeah, Uncaged Clinician Podcast. So there you go. Well, again, thank you very much, Captain D. I appreciate you for all you do. Please continue being awesome. Please continue to support people who wants to find their alternative career to start their own mobile cash-based practice. So thank you very much, Captain D. I appreciate you. Absolutely. But before I let you go, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to highlight what we just talked about, the mentor word. The word mentor. In order for you to find or become that specific cash-based practice person, you got to be a mentor. What does the mentor word means? MENTOR. Letter M is meet a niche. Meet a niche or meet a need. A need. Look at what Captain D is doing. He found a need, serving people on how to treat patients, billing cash. What's the next letter? Letter E. He educates. He's just educating us right now, educating people how to start your own cash-based practice, right? Letter N. He's probably networked with a lot of different cash-based people. He's got his co-host there, Josh Payne. There's a new guy, Kevin DeGroot. I know him too. He has networked. I know him because I've networked with him through Greg Todd. Networking, ladies and gentlemen, not the multi-level that we're talking about, the networking. Next letter is team of winners. I'm sure Captain D has a team of winners that's supporting him. Every now and then I would, shoot him a message. Hey, how do you do this? Do you do 1099 or W-2? Just do 1099, Michael. Bam. He's got a team of winners. One-on-one coaching, letter O, one-on-one coaching. You need to get a coach. You need to get a coach, whether me or Captain D or Josh Payne or whoever, because in order for you to be a good leader, you need to be a good follower first. You cannot be a good leader if you don't know how to follow, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be a good follower first. And last but not least is letter R, repeat it. Do it again. Like what I always say, repeat it. Repetition is the mother of learning, is the father of action, and then the architect of results. Again, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you. Captain D, thank you very much for joining over. Any last parting wisdom for us, Captain D, before I let you go?
You know what? Number one, have belief. Belief in yourself, all right? If you're wanting to start something, there are only two reasons why you will not be successful. Number one is that you decide to just quit. You just decide to quit. And number two, nobody knows you exist. Nobody knows you exist. So work on becoming famous and believe in yourself. If there's something you want to do, if you want to specialize in working with people with wrist injuries that like to do butterfly catching, there are people out there who do butterfly catching with wrist injuries. Believe in yourself. All right. Believe in yourself and go get it.
Oh, wow. That is very powerful, ladies and gentlemen. Believe in yourself. And guess what? Who's going to believe in you if you can't even believe in yourself? So thank you very much, Captain D. Appreciate you. For those people who are watching, again, thank you very much for watching, both on the live and on the replay. We appreciate you. Again, thank you very much. And before I let you go, always remember the word FAST, F-A-S-T, letter F. Find friends that will push you to your next level, because you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with, ladies and gentlemen. So who are you hang out with? Today, I hang out with Captain D. I feel like I'm awesome now. I feel like I'm an uncaged clinician, And letter A, you got to learn how to take action. All this stuff that we're doing, It's not going to do me good. It's not going to do you good. It's not even going to do Captain D good if you don't take action on it. This is a free show. We stream it live in our Facebook, in our YouTube, in our group. It's free. You got to take action, guys. Take action by reaching out to Captain D. Go to his website, ptbusinessacademy.com. Check him out. Take action, guys. And letter S, shoot for the moon. Why? If you keep shooting for the moon, you're going to miss it. You're going to be landing with the stars. I kept shooting for the moon. I bet Captain D kept shooting for the moon, and he probably missed it. Guess what? Right now, he's landed with a star, and he's the star of the show. He's the star of the show. And last but not the least is letter T. You got to learn how to teach it, ladies and gentlemen. You got to learn how to teach it. Why? Because when you hear it, you forget. When you see it, you remember. But when you're actually teaching it, just like Captain D's doing, he's teaching us how to be a mobile PT guy. You're going to understand it more. Again, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you. Thank you, Captain. But we're going to be back next week. We'll see you around. Be awesome, be great, be excellent. And we are signing off.